Hello, and welcome to A Word of Hope for Wednesday of the fifth week of Easter. Today, I want to deal with the first reading from the Acts of the Apostles. I'd actually like to do it again tomorrow because it's a pretty important story about the challenge to not make faith so complicated that people cannot participate in it. We have the story, if you remember last week, it was the story of in Antioch, people from the outside of Christianity called them Christians for the first time. Well, here we've got Paul and Barnabas returning to Antioch, preaching, but some of the Pharisees who had converted were still practicing the Mosaic law and saying that the new converts to Christianity, even though they were Gentiles and not part of Jewish tradition, needed to follow the Mosaic law and needed to be circumcised. There were all kinds of men throughout Antioch that were screaming about the idea of circumcision. And so what's interesting about it is that it says that Paul and Barnabas decided to return to Jerusalem to talk with the elders about it, to consult with the apostles and with the presbyters about this question. What I was really struck by was what a moment of synodality we had already 2,000 years ago. Right now, the church is going through synodality. Pope Francis is calling us together for the people of the church to have their voices heard. This is nothing new. Sometimes people criticize Francis for this newfangled idea. We see here in the first reading that it goes all the way back to the Acts of the Apostles. And when a question came up that was difficult, instead of just imposing what had to be done upon the converts to Christianity, Paul and Barnabas went back to Jerusalem and they consulted. And they listened to the voice of the people, as well as the voices of the elders and the voices of the clergy, the priests. It was a perfect example of synodality. So I take that today as a real, especially over this important question of circumcision, as a really important example that talking to one another from the top and from the bottom, communicating with one another constantly about the issues that challenge the church today, is not some newfangled idea that Pope Francis thought up. It's 2,000 or more years old and is a tremendous gift to the church today as it was then. God bless you.